Alright, fantastic song. Anyway, so when you need to actually compile all of these images, so you'll see here, these are part of the Redshift version of this that I rendered out with some crap in the background, which is actually quite awful. I didn't have my samples turned up high enough for this, so there's like weird grainy stuff just everywhere. But you can see, so this is me just like scrolling through images basically on my computer, and it's just sort of like this character slowly spinning around. I was moving the light in between, and then I stopped the render because I was busy. You can also see the amazing Redshift watermark here. But anyway, so obviously you're not going to submit me 300 individual frames for your assignment, because I will find you if you do that. So basically what you're going to do is you can go into a program like, you can import image sequences into After Effects and render them out there. There's just like an option for like import image sequence, but basically it just looks for images that are like 001, 002, 003. So like anywhere that it has a, you know, large number of videos that are like with the same name with like consecutive numbers, it's going to find them and just be like, cool, I'm going to import this and assume that it's a little, supposed to be like an image sequence or a video. If you want to use After Effects for this, you're welcome to just Google import image sequence After Effects, and then you just need to render it out of there. It's not terribly hard. I just don't have After Effects on my person right now. I'll try to link a tutorial maybe at the end of this from like a third party or something. But after it kicks out that video, it's probably going to be freakishly enormous. And it's like, if you submit me a 1 GB file, I will hunt you down and find you. You need to compress your images when they're done. Usually I've had pretty good luck both compiling and compressing these videos in a little program called DaVinci Resolve. There's a link to it in the free downloads folder on the Google Drive, but this is a free program that you can just download. So I've opened it, and I'm just going to go to File, Import Media, and I will select all of these renders. And you can see that it's just like, this selects all of them. So I'll open them, and by default it actually imports them as an image sequence. You can see here, if I sort of scrub, it's sort of scrolling the person around. So if I just grab that whole thing and just drag it down there, I'll zoom in a little bit. If I play this, what are you doing? That was weird. But I'll play this and you can see it's just sort of spinning around, and that was me messing around with my lights like a maniac. And it'll basically just turn all of your little stills into a video, like so. And for the most part, like, that's all you need to do. You just grab your images and be done. If you need to do extra compositing or whatever, you can. But if you want to export this out of Resolve, you just go to this Deliver tab down here. Save it as whatever format you need to. For some reason, I usually use QuickTime. The codec, use H.264. I don't know what it is, but it compresses it like super efficiently, and it's quite lovely. The other thing, so normally you would be using 1920 by 1080 images. In this case, I think I'm using like 19 or like 950 or whatever, but I was going to export it like this. And then you want to set your frame rate. So this is especially important for stills. If you import a movie, it'll automatically be like, hey, this is a different frame rate. Do you want to change the settings of your project? And you can select yes. But it doesn't have that info for just still images, so you want to make sure that this is either set to 24 or 30, depending on what you are working with. I would recommend 24 for standard animation assignments. It also you will not need to render as many frames. But anywho, and for the most part, that's usually all I worry about, so I'll just add this to the render queue. I will save this directly to my D drive, why not? And I'm just going to start this render. And this should be pretty instantaneous, I would imagine. If I go to my D drive, you can see it has made this beautiful, tiny little movie. It's also actually, interestingly enough, stretched my files, because I did not render this at 1920 by 1080, but it's stretched my files to match. But anyway, you can see, so here's this. So again, just I'll try to find some extra tutorials about if you want to do this with Media Encoder and After Effects, but I find this to be the easiest. I also don't really like After Effects, and this is like kind of best of both worlds. Just make sure that like whatever you send me, there's really no reason that it should be, you know, over like 70 megabytes for any of your files for this class. So please compress your things. If I do, like I said, if I do get like gigabyte files from people, I'm going to dock points for that because it takes a long time to open, and that just shows me you didn't compress your stuff. So again, just here, don't really care what format you use, but use the H.264 for the codec because that usually gives like a pretty good and effective compression on those videos.